Hey everyone, PB here, and it's time that I share with you my list of platinum trophies. I want to first start off by saying that it was never my intention to get this many trophies. All I was wanting to do was get my money's worth out of these games because spending $60 for just a week or two of entertainment is a pretty steep price. Let's not also forget about the lockdowns. In order to kill time and save money, I just started getting the platinum trophies for the rest of the games that I already own. Next thing I knew, I basically got all the platinum trophies for the Final Fantasy, Tales of, and Star Ocean series. After that, I started branching off into other games and series in the genre. Let me know in the comments down below if you've gotten these platinum trophies as well or have any suggestions for other games that I should try out. And while you're down there, don't forget to smash that like button and to subscribe. Without further ado, here's the first set of platinum trophies that I have achieved. The world has been split by war for centuries between the two different races, the humans and the Deimos. You follow the paths of two young men separated by this war, Karg, the hero of the humans, and Dark, the half-breed hero of the Deimos. These two have distilled hatred towards each other and their stories collide with one another periodically throughout the game until they eventually merge together for the final showdown. The main plot in Arc the Lad Twilight of the Spirits is that there's an evil dictator trying to collect the Spirit Stones to become the supreme ruler, and the two heroes are trying to stop him and collect the stones for themselves to save their own race. The battle system is a 3D tactic spherical grid system which focuses heavily on how you position your teammates and utilize their skills. The game has very little exploration and mainly focuses on battles. There's a lot of dialogue and gaps in between fights, so I can understand why the game only has a 4.8% completion rate and a 2.4% platinum success rate. This means that for those who manage to get through the lengthy downtimes and beat the game, 50% of them continued on to acquire the platinum trophy. The rarest trophy to get is It's on the House, which is missable because you have to collect 3 romantic earrings that are split between both stories and then equip them onto one character at the end of the game. If you enjoy tactical based RPGs, then give this one a shot if you haven't already. On the planet Fate Creed 4 in the year Stardate 537, you play as the character Fidel, whose small town is being attacked by a bandit gang. You set out to request reinforcements but are denied due to a bigger war going on between a neighboring region. As you head home empty-handed, you witness a flying vessel crash nearby, which you find and rescue a small girl with amnesia from the crash site. You witness the girl's miraculous powers and set off to help her figure out who she is. As the game progresses, you find out that there are more worlds in the universe other than your own, and you just so happen to get caught up in the middle of it in Star Ocean Integrity and Faithlessness. This game uses a variation of my favorite battle mechanic, the linear motion battle system. However, they went a little overboard by allowing all 7 of your party members to fight at once. Combat parties of 3 to 4 are my personal preference and is probably why Star Ocean reverted back to this style in their latest release. The game has a 25.5% completion rate and a 0.6% platinum trophy success rate, meaning that only 2.4% of the people who beat the game also acquired the platinum trophy. The rarest trophy to get in this game was the Consummate Combatant, which you had to acquire all 100 battle trophies in the game. This was my least favorite Star Ocean game in the series due to some ridiculous difficulty spikes in the game which left me grinding for hours to overcome them. It was a decent game, but there are better Star Ocean games to play other than this one. Have you ever wanted to know what would happen if Final Fantasy hooked up with Pokemon and had a baby together? Then look no further. In the world of Final Fantasy, you are able to capture creatures and summons and evolve them into more powerful forms. You control 2 siblings, Lan and Rain, who are sent to the world of Grimoire to reclaim their lost memories and stop the invasion of the Bahumishan army. To help aid you in your fight, you are given the power to tame creatures called Mirages to fight alongside you as well as to solve dungeon puzzles. The battle mechanics are the more traditional active active turn-based system, which is refreshing when you are wanting a more strategic gameplay style rather than a full-on action gameplay. The world of Final Fantasy has a 17.3% completion rate with a 3% platinum trophy success rate, meaning that, ironically enough, 17.3% of those who beat the game also acquired the platinum trophy. The rarest trophy to unlock was the Treasure Liberator, which required you to find every single chest in the game. I honestly cannot remember the story or gameplay for the life of me, but if you enjoy monster collecting games, then you might want to take a look into this one. The life of a high school student can be pretty hard sometimes. Studying for exams, hanging out with your friends, hooking up with girls, stealing hearts, capturing fusing monsters, exploring the depth of a demonic labyrinth, a talking cat. Yeah, high school can be pretty tough. In Persona 5, you have the opportunity to relive your golden years by playing as a high school student who has recently transferred to a new school due to an unfortunate event. A strange app shows up on your phone which allows you to enter an alternate reality of someone else's demented heart. You and your friends take it upon yourselves to become phantom thieves, stealing the hearts from these people while exploring the depths of mementos, collecting and fusing stronger monsters, building bonds between people in your community, and studying for exams. The battle system is a traditional turn-based system with some added twists. If you manage to attack the enemy's weakness, you get to take another turn, and if you knock down all the enemies, you can perform an all-out attack where all your teammates rush in to unleash massive damage to the enemies. The game has a 28% completion rate with a 2.2% platinum success rate, meaning that 7.9% of those who completed the game also obtained the platinum trophy. The rarest trophy to obtain was Mask Collector, which requires you to collect all 192 personas in the game. I don't want to go into too much details on this game because they did release an expanded version of it, which if you're interested in the Persona series, you should get the royal version of this game, which, spoiler alert, I'll be going over later in my countdown. The Shinra Corporation is sucking up the planet's energy in order to sustain the cyberpunk city of Midgar. You are an ex-soldier member who is hired by a resistance group called Avalanche to help save the planet by blowing up Shinra's Mako reactors. After a couple missions, Shinra figures out where your headquarters is and destroys the entire sector, killing hundreds of people in the process. You decide to take the fight to the doorsteps of the Shinra Corporation, but soon find out that there's an even bigger evil lurking in Final Fantasy VII. The battle system in this game is your basic active turn-based system, and your party members don't have any job role restrictions, meaning that you can basically use any characters you want to build your combat party, and they'll practically all be the same except for their limit breaks. The game is on so many platforms, it doesn't surprise me to see that only 23% of the people who played this on the PS4 beat the game, and that only 6.4% got the platinum trophy, meaning that 27.8% of those people who beat the game also got the platinum trophy. The rarest trophy to get in this game is Best Bromance, which is to go on a date with Barrett at the Golden Saucer. This is one of, if not the best JRPG ever released, and I would definitely recommend playing this game. When the night has come. En route to wed his fiancée Luna on a road trip with his best friends, Prince Noctis is advised by news reports that his homeland has been invaded and taken over under the false pretense of a peace treaty, and that he, his loved one, and his father King Regis have been slain at the hands of the enemy. To gather the strength needed to uncover the truth and reclaim his homeland, Noctis and his loyal companions must overcome a series of challenges. I honestly can't remember the story of Final Fantasy XV because there are so many damn quests and several DLCs to play, as well as a movie to watch in order to fully understand the story of this game. The battle system was not your typical active time or turn-based system like its predecessors, but the beginning of Square Enix's transition to more action-based RPGs. Only 33% of the people who played this game have beaten it, with just 6.1% getting the platinum trophy, meaning that 18.5% of those who beat the game also got the platinum trophy. The rarest trophy to get was Angling Expert, which was to acquire max level in fishing. I wouldn't recommend this game to a fellow Final Fantasy fan since it's only Final Fantasy in lore, but not in gameplay or story. Your family just moved to the small town of South Park, Colorado, when strange things start to happen. You make new friends with the local kids and you all pretend to be superheroes in order to save the town. I really shouldn't have to explain much about this game, since if you are aware of the Comedy Central TV show South Park, you can basically expect the same type of risky content and foul humor to be present in this game. I mean, the title of the game is a joke in itself. South Park, the Fractured Butthole. The battle system is a grid-based tactical RPG which allows you to move and perform special skills in a certain grid areas. The game has a 37.3% completion rate with only 4% platinum trophy success rate, meaning that 10.7% of the people who beat the game also got the platinum trophy. The rarest trophy to get was the token experience, which meant you had to beat the game on the hardest difficulty. If you are not a fan of South Park or easily offended by crude humor, then I'd recommend that you stay as far away from this game as possible. In the land of Ni no Kuni 2, Revenant Kingdom, you play as the young King Evan, who's overthrown by a coup and sets off on a journey to found a new kingdom, unite his world, and protect it from evil. The battle system adapted from its predecessor and removed the ability to capture monsters to join your team. It's still an action role-playing game with a light-hearted and youthful experience expressed in the art style of its characters. It has a 35.1% completion rate with a 5.9% platinum trophy success rate, meaning that 16.8% of the people who beat the game also got the platinum trophy. The rarest trophy to get is God of War, which you have to complete 50 skirmishes to accomplish. This is another game I have little to no memory of what really happened in the storyline, but it has great reviews, so it must have been good, right? In this peaceful fantasy world, you accidentally unleash a seal protecting your town when you pulled the rusty mana sword from the altar in the woods. After saving a young boy from a praying mantis-type creature, you were banished from your village and set off on a quest to re-energize the mana sword by visiting the 8 mana temples. The Empire at this time is also seeking out the 8 temples in order to unlock the seals from each seed which are imprisoning an evil entity. During your quest, you are joined by 2 other companions to stop the evil Empire's plans, which will bring destruction to the world in Secret of Mana. The battle system is an action role-playing style which at the time was a refreshing change and a pace to your typical turn-based strategy RPGs. Not only do you level up your characters, but you can also level up your magic and weapon proficiencies by using them in battle. I'm surprised to see that only 21.7% of players beat this game, since it's pretty short for an RPG, and that only 5.5% of people got the platinum trophy, meaning that 25.3% of those who beat the game also got the platinum trophy. The rarest trophy to get was obtain all headgears, which is self-explanatory. If you enjoy classic RPGs, then you'll enjoy this game, since it's one of the best RPGs of all time. In the world of Turca Lumeraris, cities and villages rely on a jewel source energy called Blastia in order to protect their borders from the threats of monsters. You begin the game as Yuri, an ex-military soldier who is on a quest to save the lower quarters of the city by tracking down the jewel thief who stole one of these Blastias. You are mistaken to be the culprit by the royal guards and are locked away in the castle dungeon. You manage to escape your cell and leave the city, acquiring some unusual allies along the way to help assist you in hunting down the jewel thief. By the time you are able to return the stolen Blastia to the city, you find yourself caught up in an even bigger crisis that threatens the world of Tales of Vesperia. The combat in the game is the linear motion battle system, which allows you to move freely within the combat map and use your normal and special attacks at will, as long as you have enough skill points to do so. The completion rate for this game is 27.6% with just 1.6% platinum trophy success rate, meaning that only 5.8% of those who beat the game have also gotten the platinum trophy. The rarest trophy to get is Bunny Guild Member, where you have to play 5 hours with Yuri, Estelle, Rita, and Judith wearing bunny ears. This is my favorite Tales game from the series, since you are basically the Dark Knight, a vigilante who has taken the law into his own hands in order to save the world. Well, that's it for now, everyone, but don't worry, I have a whole lot more coming soon, so make sure you subscribe and hit that bell so you'll know when I'm done editing my next set of RPG Platinum trophies. Also, smash that like button so it helps my videos with the YouTube algorithms. If you have any suggestions, please leave them down in the comments below. You can also check out some of my other videos since I do a variety type of gaming content. Until then, see you next time, my friends.